Hello there, grade 8s. This is my first lesson on fractions. And so before you do anything in terms of adding, subtracting, multiplying, and dividing fraction, there are 3 skills that you should master before doing that. So here they are. So the first skill is how to reduce fractions. So first example, I have 12/16 right here. So when you reduce a fraction, you have to ask yourself this question. What number will divide both numbers? And sometimes there isn't. There isn't any number that will divide both. So we say that that fraction is in lowest terms. And that's what we want. We want fractions written in lowest terms. Okay? So in the first one, 12/16, these two numbers can be divided by 4. And when we do that, when we divide both numbers by 4, we get an answer of 3/4, which is 3/4. And that fraction cannot be reduced any further, so it's in lowest terms. If you divide it first by 2, you'll notice that you might have to reduce it again by dividing by 2 again. And that's fine as long as we get to this answer. That's written in lowest terms. Okay, next example, we have 10/15. In class, we learned that any number that ends in a 0 or a 5, you can divide both numbers by 5. So when I do that, I get 2, and 15 divided 5 is 3, and that, once again, is in lowest terms. We have 12/30. These numbers both divide by 2, but actually, the better number to use is 6, because when we divide by 6, you get 2/5, which is 2/5, and once again, that is lowest terms. We're always trying to lower it as much as we can. And finally, we have a mixed number, 2 whole and 14/18. We ignore the whole, we just reduce the fraction. Both of these numbers can divide by 2, so we keep the whole, and 14 divided 2 is 7, and 18 divided 2 is 9. So we get 2 7/9, and that is what we call a mixed number. Because it has a whole number plus a little fraction, we call that a mixed number, and it's in lowest terms. So that's how you do that's how you reduce fractions. That's the very first most important skill. Make sure you master that. Okay, next very important skill is how to change an improper fraction to a mixed number. So this is an improper fraction because the top number is larger than the bottom. So whenever you see a fraction where the top number is larger, we say it's improper, because proper fractions usually have the top number smaller than the bottom. So what we do is we want to ask ourselves this question, and I'll write it just for this first example. How many times does 5 go into 18? How many times does 5 go into 18? So I want to know how many times, plus I want to know how much is left over. I want to know the remainder. So I know that 5 will go into 18 3 times, because 3 5s are 15. So 15 to 18, I know that I have a remainder of 3. The remainder goes on the top. The same bottom number remains on the bottom of this fraction. So we have 3 and 3/5. That is a mixed number. All right? And it's also in lowest terms. I can't reduce 3 and 5. There's no number that will divide both of these. So you always make sure you check that. So here, ask how many times does 8 go into 20? Well, 3 is too many. I think that would be 24, so it goes twice. So 2 times 8 is 16. That means I have a remainder of 4. I keep the 8 on the bottom. And don't stop there, because remember, this fraction can be reduced. We divide both of these numbers by 4. So you get 2 whole and 1/2, which is 2 1/2. Okay. Last example, we have 28/6. How many times does 6 go into 28? That 5 is too many, so 4. 4 whole. So 6 times 4 is 24. That means I have a remainder of 4. I keep the same 6 on the bottom. And now I reduce, because this fraction both numbers will divide by 2. So we get 4 whole and 2/3, or 2/3. And that is the second very important skill, how to change an improper fraction to a mixed number. Last very important skill, an easy one. It's the reverse of number 2. So how do you go from a mixed number back to an improper fraction? How to change a mixed number to an improper fraction. So what we do is, notice the bottom number never changes. We're going to keep it the same, 5. Now all we do is we start at the bottom number, the denominator, multiply it by the whole, and add the numerator. So we go 5 times 6, add 4. And that answer is on the top. So we keep the 5, and 5 times 6 is 30, add 4, 34. That is the improper fraction. You don't have to show any of this work here. You just kind of do that step mentally. So that's what I'll do in this case. Keep the 3 on the bottom. Now I'm going to go this number, 3 times 8, add 2. 3 times 8 is 24, add 2, 26. Improper fraction. And last one, keep the 8. 8 times 4, add 5. That's 32, add 5, 37. That's the third important skill, how to change a mixed number to an improper fraction. So please make sure you master these 3 before moving on to adding, subtracting, multiplying, and dividing. Okay, hope that helped you guys. Have a good day.